In this video, I'm going to create my first voice agent in retellai.com. I'll show you how to set it up, how to get it to follow the prompt that you want to give it, and what happens at the various stages of the call. In this video, I'll also go through the features that this platform offers you, and also mention some of the stuff that might be on the more advanced side that you can also get into, or that we can also get into in future videos if it is something you want to learn. So this is retellai.com, and the promise here is that you can supercharge your call operations with voice AI, and you can then hit try for free to get started. On the home page, there's also the ability to try their live demo. So you can fill in your phone number, name, and email address, and you'll get a call that allows you to see what this would sound like if it was to call your leads, your potential customers. So I'm also going to log into Meggy.com because this will be connected, or will connect it to Meggy.com, and Retell makes it very easy to connect to this no-code tool as well. So I'm just going to log in here, and I'll also show you this right here. So over here, once you log in, you get to the screen where, as part of your trial, you get $10 of free credit. And also, it's relatively easy to just get started. So you can organize your agents in different folders right here. You can have your different knowledge bases, phone numbers. You can batch calls, call history, look at your analytics, get the billing information right here. You can also get your API keys if you want to connect to various other platforms. And you can also set up your webhooks, which we will do in a second right here. So let's go back to agents, and let's create an agent from scratch. Over here, you can create a conversation flow agent for tasks with complex transitions, single prompt agent, multi-prompt, and custom large language models. For the purpose of this video, let's start with a single prompt. So there are two different prompts. So a healthcare check-in, where you can ask questions to gather information and then transfer the call. And after the notifications, it can end the call. In my case, I'm just going to start from blank. So over here, we get the model. We have GPT-4o, which is 5 cents per minute. We have GPT 4.1, which, as you can see, there's that big difference. So this is there's a 0.5 cents difference there. If we go with something like 4.1 mini, then this is quite a significance in quite a big difference. So this is 0.016. And if you wanted something that's even cheaper, you could go with GPT 4.1 Nano, which is 0.004 per minute, which is pretty insane. There's Claude 3.7, which is 6 cents per minute. Haiku, 2 cents per minute. Gemini Flashlight. So there's a lot to choose from. And with, for example, GPT's latest updates, this has significantly brought down the costs involved. In my case, let's go with GPT 4.1. There's the voice. So here by default, 11 labs are selected. You can press play to listen to the voices and see what they would sound like.
Hi, I'm Adrian, your friendly virtual helper, always here to make your daily tasks easy.
Good day. I'm Amy, your digital assistant, ready to navigate through challenges and streamline your day.
And you can also add custom voices right here. So all you need to do is search by the voice name, or you could also add or upload an audio clip right here. And this would allow you to add a custom voice. You can also explore the community voices from 11 labs here. So this will allow you to connect to 11 labs and then choose the voice that you want from here. In my case, I'm going to cancel. I'm going to, check out Andrew.
Hi, I'm Andrew, your sturdy AI support, shouldering your burdens and mapping out solutions.
And let's go with Andrew. You can also use something like PlayHT or OpenAI as well if you wanted to try different voices.
Welcome. Alloy at your service, designed to simplify your tasks and answer your queries.
Andrew, you can choose our language: English US, English UK, English Australia. In my case, I'm just going to go with English Australia. And this is where we type in the prompt for our agent. We could also use, as you can see here, you can use that notation, which is the two open curly bracket, and then add a variable, and then closing that in order to add variables. And we can also hit learn more to learn about this. So you can personalize your agent's responses using dynamic variables. So you can use them in the prompts and begin message, tool call descriptions, and a bunch of other use cases as well. So this would be quite useful. For example, if you want to, use a specific name. If you're calling someone directly, for example, if someone, requested a call, you can have these different variables right here where you're setting the dynamic variables, and then you can refer to them right here. So here we have the welcome message. In this case, it is user initiated, so the AI will remain silent until the users speak first. And here I'm going to say AI initiates. AI begins with a dynamic begin message or with a defined begin message. So let's go with a defined begin message, and now we get that right there. So this is how the conversation will start. Over here we get a bunch of items that are well worth looking into. So we have the functions, enable your agent with capabilities such as calendar bookings, call termination, etc. So let's add an end call, which we will say this happens when the user says goodbye, thank you for all your help, etc. It should be clear the user wants to end the call. Hit save. And then I can also add custom functions, which is how we will connect to something like make.com. So here we'll need to give it a name, description, the URL of the custom function, which will be a webhook, timeout options, parameter options. So here we can refer to the docs in terms of what this would look like. And here what is important is that this needs to be in a specific format right here. So we'll have a look at this in a second. Here we can say speak during execution. So if the function takes over 2 seconds, the agent can say something like, let me check that for you. So let's just copy paste that in there. And we can also speak after execution. So if you want to run the function silently, then you would turn this off. In my case, I'm just going to leave that on. So let's just put in some placeholder information for now. I'm going to hit save here. And I need obviously a valid URL. So let's actually go to make.com here. Add a webhook, add a custom webhook. And I'm going to add that, hit save, and I'm going to copy the address. So now I'll just paste that in here for now. So I'll be able to save that. And here we'll get back to this in a second. So here I can add a knowledge base. And what I like about this is that we can add different types of knowledge bases. Specifically, it could be either from a document, so we can upload a file, we can add text manually, or we can crawl and sync a specific website. So if I were to type in my web page, hit save, this will bring all the pages that are found on that site. So we'll be able to choose which page to get the information from. In my case, I'm just interested in the home page. Potentially blog, author pages. Yeah, I think I'll just maybe work with me, maybe about, contact. I think that's pretty much it. Hit save. And this will be type workflow knowledge base. And we can also choose this option to auto sync web pages every 24 hours, which can be great if the content on those pages gets updated regularly. You can also hit the resync button, obviously, to resync this to the current date and time. Over here, if I go back to agents and go back to my single prompt agent, I can now add that knowledge base that I just added. Now, speed settings. So we can add some background sounds as well. If you're, a coffee shop agent, then it might make sense to have this as the background sound. If it's a call center, convention hall, somewhere outdoors. Responsiveness, you can control how fast the agent responds after the users finish speaking. And I will leave this as 1. Interruption sensitivity, so how sensitive is the agent in terms of interrupting someone that speaks. If you put this as too high, then background noises might be interpreted as a human speaking, and that will cut off the AI, which isn't good. You can enable back channeling, so enables the agent to use affirmations like yeah or aha during conversations, indicating active listening and engagement. So I'll just add that. And you can also set the frequency of that. You can also add a list of words the agent would use for back channeling if you wanted to. Transcription mode. So this balances between speed and accuracy. If I switch to accuracy and I look at the latency here, this will increase. So now it's 1095 to 1625. If I optimize for speed, this is now 1045 to 1425. So it depends what you're looking for, which is the more important. Boosted keywords. So this will be, or if you add keywords here, these will be keywords that by default the AI would not have access to. If you have specific vocabulary, if you're, I don't know, into coffee, and there are specific coffee brands and coffee products that you want to include as part of your vocabulary, this is the place to add them. You can enable speech normalization, so it converts text elements like numbers, currency, and dates into human-like spoken forms. You can turn that on. You can enable transcription formatting, so prevents agent errors like phone numbers being formatted as timestamps. I would generally leave this on. Reminder message frequency, control how often AI will send reminder messages. So 10 seconds, one time. Pronunciation, you can add phonetics here if you wanted. So you just add the IPA here of any specific word that you want said in a specific way, and this will take care of it. Then we have the call settings. So voicemail detection, hang up or leave a voicemail if a voicemail is detected. You can end call on silence. So after 10 minutes of no one saying anything, this would end the call. And let's just put that down to 10 seconds. Max call duration. Let's put this down to 3 minutes. We have pause before speaking, the duration before the assistant starts speaking at the beginning of the call. I'm going to leave that as 0 and then ring duration. The duration for which the phone will ring before the call is answered or terminated. And yeah, we could also bring this down to whatever, how many seconds you want. So let's just put this as 14 seconds. Here we have the post-call analysis. So what happens after the call is ended? Here we can define the information that you need to extract from the call. And we can add text, selector, boolean, or number. So we can add text. This will be the detailed core summary. And we can also choose the format example, which is optional. So we can add multiple examples right there. Okay. Security and fallback. So what happens if the models that we're after or that we're choosing aren't working correctly? This is where we set all that up. And finally, we have these two webhook settings. So inbound call webhook URL, which here it says has been migrated to phone level webhook. And the agent level URL, webhook URL to receive events from Retell. And here there's also the documentation for these two. So here you can trigger these based on call started, call ended, call analyzed, and so on and so forth. What I'm going to do here is add this agent level webhook URL. And what I'm going to do is copy, actually I might create a new one. Yeah, let's create a new webhook here in make.com. So this will be the tool function, which might be, I don't know, get date. So let's just get the date right here. We're going to add a setter here, and this will return the date. So here we're just going to return the now variable, and we might as well format this in a specific way. So format date now, and just format it as day, month, and year. And then what this would do is just return that. So I'm going to add a webhook response right here. So here we'll just say the date is equal to that right there. So this will return that in JSON format. What I'm also going to do here, I'm going to add another webhook, which will be the agent level. So anything that needs to come in through the agent will come in through here. So custom webhook, I'm going to add this, copy this, and if I go back here, I'm just going to paste that in here. And that's pretty much it in terms of the settings. What I'm going to do here is add the prompt for the agent, which will have the role, the conversational style, the objective, and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is grab this. I'm going to copy that so it will serve as something I will use. And if I go to Claude, I'm going to paste that in there. And I'm going to say, I want you to build me a system prompt for a voice AI agent that deals with coffee shop recommendation, or let's see, that deals with, let's keep it a bit more simple, that deals with objections customers might have when buying coffee. Let's just keep it very, very simple and high level. And here I also pasted the prompt from Retell, which is type a universal prompt for your agent, such as its role, conversational style, objective, etc. So now this is creating the system prompt right here. So here we get the objections, the response approach, the sample response, we get health concerns, sustainability concerns. So again, since this is just dealing with objections, we're getting potential objections and how to solve them. We get the conversation flow, so the opening, the information gathering, addressing objections, recommendations, closing, and important limitations. We also get the success metrics right there, so this is pretty in-depth. What I'm going to do here, after pasting that in there, is just remove the knowledge base, since my knowledge base is about AI and automation, so not really something that is relevant to that right there. And let's see if there's anything else. And call. Yeah, here let's get the get date time. Refer to this tool to get the date and time. And over here, if we have a look at the docs, here it says integrate in a system with custom functions. So steps to create a custom function. You can create custom functions that will be called by the large language model when needed. When called, Retell sends a post request to your specified URL with the function name and parameters. And we can add custom functions in the dashboard, just like we did. We can configure the details, so add in the name, then the description. The name should be unique, separated with underscore. So according to this, best practice would be using an underscore right there. For example, get weather. The description is get the weather for a city. We add the endpoint URL. And we define the parameters. Define the parameters for custom functions using JSON schema format. For guidance, refer to OpenAI function calling guide, function calling tutorial. Example, parameter schema. So we get, for example, under properties, we get the city, we get the type string, the description, the city of the weather. And then that is required. So let's go back to Retell here. Let's go back to the function. And let's just try this without any parameters, since this is optional. And let's see what we get. So let's hit update. And here, let's give this a better name. So get time and date, or get, let's call this get date. Get the date of today. This is GO at the end, so just double checking. This is the right one. It is. And what I want to do is add the information into the knowledge base right here. So all I'm going to say is I want to ensure that the right date is in place. The system should look at the get date tool in order to get this at the beginning of the call. Please update the system prompt. And once this updates, we'll be able to test this as well. So, and call, get date, no knowledge base. That looks good. Webhook settings. Okay. So here we need to provide that as well. Okay, so this is almost ready. I'm glad you asked about it. Ethical sourcing is central to our mission. Our coffees are either fair trade certified. Yeah. So this is now updating some of that. So let's copy this, go back here, paste that in here. Let's hit save. Okay, this seems to have updated right here. And now, first of all, we can test the agent. So let's
Hello, how can I help you today?
Hi there, who are you?
Let me check the date real quick so I can give you the best recommendations for today. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. On a day like today, there's nothing better than a fresh cup of coffee. Are you looking for something cozy and comforting, or maybe something bright and refreshing? Tell me a bit about what you're in the mood for.
Tell me about what you have in terms of coffee that is comforting.
Absolutely. If you're looking for something comforting, I'd recommend our medium and dark roast coffees. These tend to have rich, smooth flavors, think chocolate, caramel, and...
So what I don't like is that here, first of all, this is working well. So we got the event call ended function, which is great. We got the transcript right here. We got the start, the end, transcript object, which has the different rows rather than the whole thing as a whole. We get the transcript with tool calls. What I don't like here in terms of tool calls is that it said, let me get the date really quick so I can give you the best recommendations. This was accepted. Let's run this once more because it just seemed to have kept going without actually invoking this tool. Okay, so there was something in the queue. So potentially I didn't start this on time. So let's wait for new data. And here what I'm going to do is also connect this to something like Airtable. So I'll be able to, after a call, ensure that I save what is needed from that specific call. So in my Airtable, what I'm going to do is create a new database. And let's call this the Retell transcriptions. And here I know that I have the call ID, the agent ID, the call status is ended. So let's use this start timestamp, which might be in a, maybe let's double check what time format this is. ChatGPT, what time is this, or what format is this time in? Yep, Unix timestamp, great. So what I want to do is convert this into something that is more readable, I guess. How do I convert this into a readable format in make.com? Yeah, use the format date, convert into milliseconds. So divide timestamp by 1000. Okay. Then wrap it in format date. And then we format it correctly. Okay, so let's just try this. So here, this is saying that if, let's actually Airtable this. I'm going to create a record. This is called Retell transcriptions. And what I want is as soon as a call finishes, I get a log of that call, right? So here, let me think what I need. I need let's have the start and end timestamp, which will probably be a date. So let's go here, record ID. Let's add this as a formula. Let's add date, start time. Let's duplicate this and say end time. What else? We have the transcription, or let's have the duration in milliseconds. So let's have a number here, duration. And we might need to do some formatting to maybe change that into minutes potentially. Let's have the transcript, which is a long text. Transcript objects, we don't need that. We don't need that. Recording URL. This could be interesting, I guess. Might be useful.
Hello, how can I help you today?
Hi there, who are you? Yep. So let's add an attachment here with the voice, call voice, I don't know, voice recording or just recording as an attachment. What else do we want? Public log URL. So this is a public.log. And we have the transcript. Okay, this could be useful though, because this tells us what went wrong. So there was an error triggering the webhook for call started. There was no scenario listening at that stage. Then we had the call tool get date. Okay, webhook triggered. So yeah, this log might be useful. What I might want to do is just download the information from this and save it directly as text. So I think that would be useful. So let's have a long text, which is call log. What else? Latency, call cost. So here we have the different costs that we incurred. So we have Retell, we have 11 labs, and we have the GPT 4.1. Combined cost is 7.4. Total duration seconds is 39. So I'm not sure if that's the same as the, yeah, very close to that, I guess, duration in milliseconds. So let's save the combined cost as well. So let's say call cost, which will be a number. Access token, that's pretty much it. So here, let's just go here. Let's refresh this. And let's start mapping some data. So we have the start time, which we'll need to convert. We'll have the end time, which again need to convert. The duration in milliseconds, which we might want to convert as well. We have the transcript right here. We have the recording, which is call recording. Recording URL. Let's try save it like that. We have the call log, which was this public log URL, which you might need to download, I guess. So we'll see about that in a second. And we have the call cost, which is right here under combined cost. So let's see if we can figure out the call log. And we also need to convert this information into something that's not in Unix format. So let's try that. Let me grab the call log, which is under recording URL. Where are we? Public log URL. So this is log URL. We have the timestamp, start and end. Let's grab this. And we have the duration in milliseconds. So as for duration, if this is milliseconds, if we divide by 60, it should be seconds. If we divide by another 60, it should be minutes. So if we divide this, let's do some quick maths. This division by 60, division by 60. That's not right, no. ChatGPT. How do I convert milliseconds into minutes? With a spelling mistake. Maybe division. Yeah, I think it's division. So if I take that, division by 1,000. Okay, 1,000, yeah, not division by 60. So what do I need to do? Division by, so you're dividing by 60,000. Okay. So if I just take the original number, which is that 38K, and divide by 60,000, I should get in minutes how long that call was, which was 0.6. Okay, great. So if I go back to make, what I need to do is, first of all, for duration, let's divide that by 60,000, and first of all, I have an additional 0. Since this is a mathematical operation, I also need to put that as a, let's see why that isn't working. So if I go here, I can do that, and then I put in my 60,000. So that's the first thing. Now, let's convert this into something like this. So this will be the start and the end date. So here we had to divide the timestamp by 1000 and then put it within the format date. So let's go here. We need to divide it by 1000. So again, let's use the division there, divide by 1000, and then have the format date. Oops, that's not what I wanted. So format date. Then we have that. Then we have the division. Then we have 1000. And then we can put the format that we want, such as year, date. I don't think we need the quotes though. And let's see what we get with this. So let's save this. Let's run this once, or let's test this. Let's let's add an item here. Let's paste that in there. Let's put a variable right there. What I'm going to do is run this once, and then as the start time, let's just put this in here. Not really. This is 1970-01. Not really what I wanted. So division by 1000. I don't think this is working. When I try the above with this number, which is this number here, I get the second attached output. Let's see. Based on your screenshot, you're likely hitting a meta error because of how make handles large numbers. Okay, the fix. Use div to do the math outside the format date. Okay, let's try that. So, do another module. Let's try that separately. Let's copy that. Let's unlink, put that there. Again, this is just testing to see whether we get that number to look the way we want it to. So here, I'm just going to do the conversion or the division by 1000. And let's just try this with hard-coded numbers. So that would be that number, division by 1000. And then here we're saying take that and format it. So format date, that number in year, or let's do date, month, year, and then hour, and then minute. Let's try that once more. 21/1/19. I'm still 1970 though. So this isn't working well. It's not a make problem. It's a formula problem. Still not working. Let's paste that in. And let's paste the second one in as well. Interesting though how this is saying that this should be 2025, 5th. It's the wrong month, but definitely closer than 1970. In your first screenshot, you set X to this, okay? But this is just a text string, not evaluated expression. You need to use div brackets. Is div a function? I don't think so though. Div? No, it's not. So div isn't a function in make. You're absolutely right. Use parentheses to force make to evaluate the mass before formatting the date. Isn't that what I... I don't feel this is the answer. Put this directly in the variable value field. Okay, let's test that. I mean, this will definitely not work because, I mean, never say never, but I think this wouldn't work, yeah, because there's no functions being called there. So let's first format this. I believe this should be a met operation division. And I still think these don't need to be in quotes. Yep. This needs to be a proper semicolon. Let's try this once more. These, we'll remove the quotes. Again, I don't think we need that because this is the first part of the formula and then we have the other part. So, yeah, fail to map. NAN is not a valid date. Format date, that number. Yeah, make.com Unix conversion. We need to parse it first. Parse date, timestamp. Here are some screenshots for reference. So let's try the parse date. Like that. So let's go to chat. Let's say transcribe. Let's try this formula right here with the parse date. Not sure what that X does at the end. So format date, parse date. Let's put in our Unix number, which is that right there. Uh, 80, yeah. Put in a semicolon. Let's just say month, date, year. Let's put in a bracket, semicolon. I'm not sure what this is doing though. Oh yeah, because before we had format date as well. Format date and parse date. Parse date. Okay, semicolon X. Let's try that. Okay, now just find a solution for this and I'll get back to the recording. Okay, so over here, I parsed the date as per the instructions that make gives, but for some reason this is still giving me the wrong output. So it's saying it's the 7th of December of the year 57,276. So I'm not sure what's happening there. So just to keep this video not super long, what I'm going to do is just connect this once more. And I'm just going to leave this call timestamp start as is for now. Call end time, that's good. Call cost, and I wanted to try the call log as well. So here, let's just try and download that information using a GET. So we'll have the text of the call log that is saved directly into Airtable. So if I look here and see if I can download this, let's see what we get right here. So let's run this. And now under data, we get that binary information. So my question is, if I use a setter, can I convert that to a string? Because if I can, I'll be able to save that again as a string immediately. So here, let's just test these two right here. Yep, and now I can get all the information there. Great. So now I can get call log. And technically I don't even need that. I can just delete this and then save the call log like so. Okay, so this is what will be called at the end of the call. Let's wait for new data. Let's just ensure that the get date is waiting for new data. And let's run this one more time. So here in Retell, let's test audio, hit test.
Hello, how can I help you today?
Hi there. What can you tell me about coffees that you have available?
Let me check today's date so I can share our most up-to-date coffee offerings and any seasonal specials. Thanks for waiting. Since it's April 22nd, we're right in the heart of spring, which means we have some fresh, vibrant coffees perfect for this season. Are you looking for something?
So the get date worked well. As you can see, it returned the 22nd of April 2025. The only thing I need to do here is add a filter because this sent a call started. But what I want is a call ended when it comes to saving stuff right here. So if we look at the history right here, and we look at the successful message that we got, let's go back once more. Potentially this, or even back, even further back. Let's look here. Even further back. We want to get a call ended as the actual status. Let's see if we manage to find that. Let's just go here and run this. So let's delete all data. Let's delete this. Let's go back here and enable that as well. And if I go back to Retell, let's test.
Hello, how can I help you today?
Hey, how are you? And now, was this running? Use existing data. Call started. So if I ran this once more, got call started. Okay, let's use existing data. Call started. Damn, this sort of call started. Yeah, I'm just interested in call. I think it would be call ended. So here, let's just add a filter. And we're going to say that this should be call ended under event. So this is call ended, question mark. Hit save. Let's go back here so we can see this working. So there are 3 items in the queue. So let's delete those. Let's hit save. Delete all data, delete, hit save. And let's see this working in a second. So here, if I go back to Retell, test audio.
Hello, how can I help you today?
Hey, can you tell me about coffees that you have?
Let me check today's date so I can share the most up-to-date info and seasonal options with you. Thanks for your patience. Could you tell me a bit about what you usually enjoy in a coffee?
Can you tell me what today's
For
date
example,
is?
Absolutely. Let me double check today's date for you. I'm checking that for you now. I'll have today's date in just a moment.
Okay, so this was off. So let's delete that. Let's delete, save. So what is today's date?
Today's date is June 13th, 2024. How can I help you with your coffee selection
Are
today?
you sure that
Are
it's
you
today's date? Can you double check?
Let me double check today's date for you. Thanks for your patience. Today's date is actually April 22nd, 2025. Sorry for any earlier confusion. Would you like to hear about our current seasonal coffees, or are you looking for something specific?
Okay, let's end the call here. Goodbye.
Thanks so much for chatting with me today. If you ever have more coffee questions or want to try something new, just let me know. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, great. So call ended, that went through here. And in a second, we should get the record updated in our table. So let's just refresh that. Great. So here we got the start time, the wrong format. Obviously, we need to figure that out. Got the duration, which is 1 minute. Great. Transcript, which is the whole thing. Great. We got the recording.
Hello, how can I help you today?
Nice. We got the call log. Great. And we got the call cost, so 13.4 cents. Awesome. So this is actually working as expected when it comes to the stuff in Retell. The only thing that I'd need to update would be the start and end time right here. So that this would be the correctly formatted date. But pretty much apart from that, it's relatively easy to set this up in Retell to connect it to different tools and functions. And especially within Make, if I go here, I can also use any of these not like inbuilt modules right here as well. So I can create a phone call, list all phone calls, list all phone numbers, get a phone number, create a phone number, get the voice. So there's a lot of inbuilt integrations as well ready to be used in make.com. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. And let me know what other videos you want to see more of in the future, because I'll be creating more of these types of AI automation videos very, very soon. I'll speak to you in the next video.